We're starting the show off with a bang, okay? Listen. Last week on this very show, you said that the Kansas City Mavericks were going to sweep the Florida Everblades. And
Everblades, not the Everglades, the Everblades.
I said Everblades, don't you worry.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, you. Yeah. And what happened since then, Moses?
So the Mavericks win game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals 6-0. They win game 2 5-2. All signs were pointing towards a sweep, yes? And our goalie LaFontaine did his darndest. But we did not win a game since we had this conversation last. We've lost 4 straight games. So last night,
So the Florida
ahead.
Everblades are they won the Kelly Cup, is what you're saying, and that the Mavericks lost 4 straight games ever since you said that. And we'll talk about last night's game, but I just want to know if you're going to take responsibility for your actions.
Absolutely not. Of course not. When have I ever done that? I am going to do nothing except for point fingers and complain about other people not doing adequately at their jobs. I needed more drum. I needed the Mavericks to, when they had the puck, figure out what to do with the puck instead of just full sending it across the rink every single time.
Dude, I was amazed that they scored 4 goals. So we were at the game last night. I was amazed. The Mavs were up 4-1 at one point. And early on in the game,
I was feeling
like,
amazing.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. And then, so like at the beginning of the game in the first period, Everblades were just better in all aspects of the game. And then the Mavericks turned it on. But then in the last probably 10 minutes of the third period, I was like, something shifted, something changed, and we know what happened.
Yeah, so we were winning 4-1 basically the whole game. You know, we go into chuck a puck, everyone's having the time of their lives, and you could tell the third period was Andy Reid mode. It was kill clock and get the time down to 0 so we can win. I don't need you to do anything fancy. You don't need to try to score. You don't need to do anything. We ended up going into double overtime because in the last 10 minutes we gave up 3 goals, and a couple of which were controversial with them pushing our goalie into the net and it being counted as a goal, even though we did that in overtime and it wasn't counted as a goal.
Yeah, I said it yesterday to you at the game. I was like, it's like the Mavericks when they're attacking, they're like, I never thought we would get this far. So they just there was never a plan.
It was the equivalent of like if somebody that's never played the NHL video game played against like their little brother, like, or I said that weird. Someone that's good at playing the NHL video game played against like their little brother, and it's like every time the little brother gets the puck, you just go over there and poke it out, or you go over there and like tackle the other guy or check the other guy, and you just keep getting the puck because watching the Mavericks, it's like every time they had the puck, 2 or 3 Everblades players was on their butt instantly, and they just had
so much faster.
They were just chucking it. The Mavericks passing was like I was watching. Like, I'm not trying to insult them, but they're professionals, so they should be better. Their passing was atrocious.
Sloppy.
They never were accurate with their passes, and when they were, they didn't receive the passes. And they would, and all it takes is a second or two of fumbling, and then the other team is already on you and stealing the puck. And dude, it was so bad. And I think it was a little bit like I want to blame coaching a little bit, because how come every single time the other team got the puck did it seem like they had plays drawn, whereas every time we had the puck it was like all we got to do is get it to the other side, get it to the other side, waste as much time as possible because we have the lead and we just want to try to win. We have the puck, we're just gonna full send, launch it all the way across the ice and just hope that, you know, we can kill another 30 seconds, which isn't even close to what happened. But yeah, 13 seconds left. We give up the 4th goal, so it's 4-4. We go to overtime. No one scores all overtime 1. We sit through another treacherous intermission, and then we watch them lose in second overtime. And we're all sitting there watching, and out of nowhere, I didn't even see the goal happen. Literally out of nowhere, the other team just starts throwing their gloves and freaking out, and they win the whole thing. And we're all just like, "Is this it? Did we just lose? Is that what happened?"
I still say they have one of the best atmospheres that you can go to in sports out there, and it showed out tonight. But yeah, congrats to the Mavericks, great season. Congrats to the Everblades on winning.
I'm not gonna give congrats. I hate them.
You take your time, buddy. But yeah, with that, we are at the Mavericks game, so we didn't get to really pay much attention to the Royals game last night. And
I literally only saw one notification.
Other than the notifications, I looked at it and it was like, oh, it's 7-3 now. All right.
Sounds about right. So yeah, we wanted to live react to some of these, to the box score, and kind of see what actually happened, because I still haven't looked at it. So I figured now would be a great time to do so.
Mitch Spence was on the mound. I mentioned this in my recap of we're kind of at the point with injuries, and we'll talk about injuries later on in the show, but we're kind of at the point with injuries of it's like very next man up attitude. Mitch Spence got called up. Eli Morgan got sent down. So he got the start last night.
Okay, so bottom of the third, Curtis Mead singles on a line drive to center fielder Lane Thomas, deflected by second baseman Nick Lofton. Nazim Nunez scores and James Wood scores, making it 2-0. Carter Jensen singles on the ground ball in the 4th inning. Charlie Marte scores. That's 2-1. Garcia singles on the ground ball to right fielder.
Hey, stay hot, Michael Garcia. He had 3 RBIs on Sunday, 2 more right here.
Yup. That's awesome. Luis Garcia singled in the 5th, making it 4-3. It's a 2-run single. And then Dylan Cruz hits a 3-run home run in the 5th. So they just ran away with it in the 5th. So we were up 3-2. All right, so who's pitching here? Who had the ball? Mitch Spence was still in for the single.
Mitch Spence was charged with six runs.
Okay. Mason Black gave up that 3-run, but the people on base were his. So
yeah.
Mitch Spence goes 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Not a very good day from Mitch Spence. That's a couple games he's had this season with the Royals where he was booty cheek. Mason Black went 2 innings. He gave up that home run, so he's only charged with the 1 run. Beck Way went 2 scoreless innings with 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. So
wow. There you go.
Wow,
Beck.
yeah. We went 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 7 left on base.
Yeah, here's the lineup. So Lane Thomas leading off, Bobby Witt Jr., Jack Caglione batting 3rd, batting 4th, Michael Garcia, batting 5th, Starling Marte. He was the DH. And John Rave pinch hit for him at some point. Went 0 for 1. Salvador Perez batting 6th, playing first base. Nick Lofton at second base. Carter Jensen, Isaac Collins.
Yeah, this is a funny lineup, and I remember seeing the lineup when it was announced, and I'm reading it. I was actually in the shower. I see the notification come from Twitter. I click it, and I'm like, what am I looking at? But it's just because, obviously, Isbell's hurt, so Lane Thomas is in center, and then Perez was playing first because Vinny's gone, so Carter's starting at catcher. And then DH Marte's DHing, and you're like, what the heck am I looking at here? Like Nick Lofton's at second, so it was just a weird lineup that yesterday.
Yeah. Carter Jensen, though, like we got to figure it out. Is Carter Jensen a leadoff batter, or is he batting 8th? What is that?
Seriously, he has the most strikeouts on the team. I would pull it up. I could pull it up, but it's whenever I was talking about Caglione in my recap the other day, it was like Cags was like 3 or 4 strikeouts behind Carter Jensen, and Carter Jensen just he strikes out multiple times a game, it feels like. I mean, so does Cags, because Cags is a swinger, as Denny Matthews emphatically talks about. He's a swinger. He's gonna be swinging. Really?
That's good analysis. Hey, Lord got the win.
I was about to say that. I just saw that.
5-0 with a 2.44 ERA.
Mitch Spence got the loss. He's 0-1 with a 13.5 ERA on the season. So that's not great.
So the Royals now sit at 29-44, 10.5 games back, 4-6 in their last 10. The Tigers are pulling away from them. They're a game and a half ahead of them.
There's only one team in all of baseball with a worse record than the Royals, and it's the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
Who fell off, by the way. They had a hot first couple, I guess not first couple of months, but the first month or so, the Rockies were actually good. And now they're 19 games back in the NL West.
But if you're in the same conversation as the Rockies right now, like nobody expects the Rockies to be good, right? Nobody. Royals had expectations. So if you're sitting down there with a similar record as the Rockies, maybe it's time to reevaluate your staff. I don't know.
Only the Boston Red Sox have a worse record. I lied. The Boston Red Sox, the Giants, and the Rockies and the Astros are the only teams with as bad home records. Away records, the Tigers, Orioles, Angels, those are the three teams that have records as bad as the Royals away. We say all this to say the Royals are bad at baseball. They're going through a lot of things, but a lot of things are not the reason the Royals are bad at baseball. It's because they're bad at baseball that all these things are happening. Vinny Pasquantino is trying to force things, and he swings and misses at a pitch that's a ball on his hands, and he breaks his hand. That's where the Royals are at right now. So it's like we can really do no right at this point. We try to bring in, like, you try to do anything with the lineup. You try to do anything by bringing people in and trying to see if anyone can be a shining light through the darkness, and the Mitch Spence gives up 6 runs. Like, can we not do anything? Like, is there anything that we can do that's just not poop? And it's just so sad. So sad, Brandon.
Yeah, it's tough now with the injuries because like you're starting pitching like Seth Lugo, IL, he'll be back soon, but Bubic, Reagans, all that. And now you're like, okay, Luinder Avila, which I am like, I never want to see him start a game again, but it's almost inevitable that he's going to have to get another start. You have Mitch Spence coming out here trying to do a spot start, and like there's nobody that you can rely on. And this isn't an excuse like last year where it was like, oh, there was just so many injuries that stacked up. Like this team was bad before when it was healthy. So we can't be sitting at the next Royals rally and have Ryan Lefevre go, well, Matt Quatrero, it's really impressive how you managed to even have as good a record as you did with all of the injuries. No. This team was bad before we can even say any of that.
Exactly. I don't understand how it got so bad so fast, because this roster on paper, we've been coping all season by saying this shouldn't have happened, but it happened. Every single player is underperformed, to be honest. Like Jack Caglione, as far as I remember, let me check the stats real quick.
His last month has been insane. But you want to know Jack Caglione's stats in the month of June so far?
Let me hear it right now.
Okay.
Fire me up.
So his slash line is 422 average, 509 on base, 689 slugging, an OPS of 1.198. Absolutely insane numbers. And that's what you, obviously it's small because you look back in May and he's below average in a lot of his stuff. So, but this is the Jack Caglione that you're like, oh, this is the guy that we've heard about. 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 3 doubles, 19 hits.
And that's only in 16 days. So it's wonderful. So I was going to say that he led the team in batting average, but he no longer does. Now it's Bobby Witt Jr. He leads him by 10 points, and that was quick. So Bobby is at a 284 average, and that is below his standard, to be honest. And Garcia's hitting 267. So we're at 284 Bobby, 274 Cags, and 267 Garcia. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that there's not a Salvador Perez or a Pasquantino touching this area, that's one of the giant reasons. Like, why is Cameron Meisner in his small sample size leading the team in batting average? Why is Michael Massey and Starling Marte, Isbell, Lofton, and Diaz all have better batting averages than Pasquantino? Like, pretty much unacceptable. The Royals are the only team in the MLB without a double-digit home run hitter. I saw that stat this morning, and it made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
They brought the fences in.
Yeah, we brought the fences in for this. Disgusting. Carter Jensen leads the team with 36 RBIs. And next up is Vinny Pasquantino, and he's broken.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I think Vinny, I mean, he's done for at least like through the trade deadline.
Yeah. I heard 610 was talking about trades yesterday morning. Cody Tapp and Alex Gold were talking about that, and they were kind of throwing out names to kind of talk about it. And dude, Vern is beside himself. Those what's the post-game show with Vern called? I don't remember, but
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. But he is like so mad. He called some guy an idiot. He was like, "Are you an idiot? Yeah, if you're an idiot, yeah, maybe." And he's like yelling at people because that's where we're at in the season with like poor guy has to talk about this Royals team all night, field calls from people. Some bozo called and was like, "At what point do we start talking about trading Bobby?"
Okay.
And Vinny's like, or not Vinny, I'm sorry, Vern is like, never. Are you kidding me? Like,
dude.
Like maybe 5 years from now, if he regresses and becomes some no name,
that
like maybe
that is some idiot that called solely to get a reaction out of Vern. Like, you're so unserious. Yeah, because there's 3 players that are untouchable. Bobby is one of them. Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen. Everyone else, I'm having a conversation about.
Yeah. And that was what Alex Gold and Cody Tapp were talking about. They were talking like whatever trade value Chris Bubich had, Cole Reagans had, and maybe even Pasquantino. Their trade value is tanking because of their injury history. And what you're going to get back for them is not going to be really like the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And you look at this entire roster, and it's like if we become sellers, we're not even going to get that good of assets back for these players because of how bad they're playing and how injury-prone most of them are. So, pretty black-pilled moment for the Royals, unfortunately, at this point. Yeah, but with all this, speaking of black pill, why don't we just talk about some of these injuries? So why don't you, since you covered that Vinny Pasquantino injury, why don't you go ahead and tell us about that one?
Vinny Pasquantino over the weekend had another unfortunate injury, and this time it was at the plate. So on Saturday in the 5th inning, he swung at an inside pitch that ended up getting him in the hand, and he fractured his right hamate bone. And definitely had to look up the pronunciation of that. But
hamate.
So he got put on the 10-day IL, but he just had surgery. I don't know. He had surgery this weekend, and the expected recovery is 4 to 6 weeks. So that'll put him probably at the trade deadline when he's coming back. So August 1st-ish. And even then, depending on where the Royals, I'm sure he'll be back, but Vinny's not going to be making a return to save the team, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and his productivity has been so low that when he comes back, it's not like we're going to be excited. It's going to be like, oh, so we're getting back a healing from an injury, already doing bad, Vinny. Like, okay. And that, how do you say it again?
Hamate.
I did a quick search. I had never really heard of the hamate bone before actually this offseason because of Corbin Carroll.
Dude.
I had never heard of it until this season, and it sounds like everybody's breaking this little bone in their hand. So a small list of players that have broken their hamate bones is Corbin Carroll with the D-backs, Francisco Lindor with the Mets, Jackson Holliday with the O's. Jose Ramirez just broke his a couple days ago as well. And then now Vinny Pasquantino. There's a couple other names on this list, but I haven't heard of them, so I'm not going to say them. But it's just kind of like out of nowhere. I don't even know what the bone is. Let's do a little search here. Let's do a little picture search. Hamate bone. So it's a little tiny bone right in the hand above your wrist. Your forearm bones connect to your wrist bones, and right in here, there's a little tiny baby bone that everyone keeps breaking. I mean, Vinny, lots of these people that break them, it's like, how did that happen? But he's swinging at a pitch that's in on his boobies, and he gets hit. Booby. He's swinging at a pitch that's right here, and he gets hit right in the hand like a bozo. Next person on the list of injuries, Kyle Isbell. This was a few days ago, probably like a week ago. I can't exactly remember which game, but he comes limping off the field, and we're all like, oh, great. I hope Kyle's okay. He's been diagnosed with left plantar fasciitis. So he has a grade.
Cameron Meisner impression.
Yes. I tore my plantar. So Kyle tore his left foot's plantar fascia, grade 3 tear, which is very severe. It's like as severe as it can get. Yes, it's the worst, literally. And the timeline has yet to be announced. It'll be clear in the next few days upon further evaluation, but his expected return is not for months, probably.
I would imagine he's done. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people are saying that it's a season ender, especially at this point in the season. So I'm not expecting Kyle back, but if he is back, it wouldn't be until later this year. So R.I.P. Kyle, one of the shining lights of the Royals this season. He was one of the best outfield bats. Cags is obviously coming into his own right now, but Kyle kind of carried the outfield team, like the outfield group, for the first couple months. So sad to see him go down. So we were praying for you, Kyle.
So Cole Reagan's next on the list. His left elbow impingement, pitcher's elbow, valgus extension overload. Sure. That's a word. So he went on the IL on May 8th, and we still don't know when he's going to return. He actually threw a bullpen session, 23-pitch bullpen session on June 10th, but woke up with discomfort a couple days later, and he was scheduled for an MRI yesterday to figure out what's going on in there. We still don't know the results of that, but again, another player that Royals were kind of counting on that just cannot stay healthy and is a lost cause in 2026.
Yeah. And for him, if he's still having it now, I genuinely don't see him coming back for at least 30 days, and that puts us in the All-Star break. So if Cole Reagans comes back after the All-Star break, I'd be happy to see him, but at this point, it's like, whatever. So next on our list is starting pitcher Kris Bubic. He just is dealing with left elbow soreness, so his throwing elbow. Kind of the same thing, a little bit of pitcher's elbow. So he's on the 15-day IL right now. He sustained a setback with a shoulder issue arising after he began his rehab assignment in AAA Omaha on June 9th. MRI came back clean, but he's progressing a little bit better than Reagans is. I was a little bit confused. I think they misspoke on the broadcast. They were talking about Cole Reagans, but I think it was Ryan Lefevre misspoke and said Bubic. So the whole time I was thinking about Bubic, but they were talking about Cole Reagans after looking at what actually happened. But so that's two starting pitchers, two of our better left-hand starting pitchers that are probably not coming back anytime soon. I mean, Bubic, there's a little bit more optimism. He's still dealing with pain, still dealing with discomfort, and when you're a baseball player, especially a starting pitcher, it's like OTC, like not OTC, not over the counter. It's OCD to the max. So unfortunate, very unfortunate. The list continues to grow, and another injury-riddled season for the Booby.
Yep.
Booby.
Next on the list, Carlos Estevez, who was the expected closer coming into the season. We knew that he had velocity issues in spring training, but his injury, right rotator cuff strain, so that was on April 1st. He got put on the IL. He actually just got transferred to the 60-day IL yesterday. He's expected to be back in this month or July, according to MLB.com. I would probably say later July at this point with him. Knowing what I understand about what's going on about him this season, but so he suffered a shoulder injury while rehabbing his foot injury on May 6th, which again we talked about that when it happened on May 6th, and our takeaway was kind of, well, the shoulder injury probably already existed. And that's where the velocity concerns were coming from, but began playing catch on May 27th, amped up his intensity and volume of a flat ground throwing session last week. So definitely getting there, but again, who knows?
So next on the list is right-handed pitcher Nick Mears, who is one of our relief pitchers who has been a dud. Very unfortunate to see his season going as poorly as it has. But a couple weeks ago, back in late May, he had the same injury as Cole Reagan's, but it is his right shoulder, since he's a righty. He has right shoulder impingement, so he had some imaging done on May 29th, and it revealed a lot of inflammation in his shoulder, but nothing more severe than inflammation. He began throwing progression throughout the week on last week, so June 8th. So his expected return is this month. Yay, I'm so excited to have him back.
Yeah. All right, so the final name on
you
the
go ahead
injury...
and keep talking. I'll be right back, but you can keep talking.
All right, the final name on our injury list, as me and the chair continue this conversation, is Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo last week against the Texas Rangers got absolutely smoked by a line drive off the bat of Brandon Nimmo, and he was diagnosed with a concussion. If you saw it, took a line drive basically off the forehead and had a goose egg almost immediately. He was alert and able to get up under his own power, and kind of seemed to be smiling a little bit, but you got to take those sort of things seriously, and it was very obvious that he had some sort of head injury, brain injury. But anyway, he was hit by a 106.6 mile per hour liner. So really
picture the fastest pitch
soon.
You've ever seen. The fastest pitch you've ever seen right on your forehead.
Yeah. Jacob Mizorowski just threw a fastball as hard as he could at Seth Lugo is what happened there. And he just took it. But he'll be back sooner rather than later. It's just you have a concussion, you got to get through all that, and you got to take those things really seriously.
Yeah. That Tom and Jerry.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it made me feel bad. I hate to laugh at it, but like at least he was also in good spirits. When he was walking back, he was trying to say to Brandon Nimmo, he's like, I'd rather you hit a home run off of me than hit my head. Come on. So it was pretty funny. To wrap up our injury update, these names include 3 of our starting pitchers, 2 of our starting fielders, our first baseman and our center fielder, and our closer. So this is a list of injuries that is very not good to have, especially when you're already the second or third worst team in the MLB. But all we can do is keep seeing. Honestly, this is kind of like an opportunity to use this season is like, who else do we have? Like, we're throwing out Mitch Spence, Beck Way, throwing out all these people to see if there's anyone in the system that is going to be able to do well. Steven Kolek is absolutely proving to be one of those guys that is here to stay. He's arguing with his numbers. He's making a case to stay on the starting rotation full time. So, with Seth Lugo, I don't know what control we have over some of these players like Reagans and Bubic and Lugo. I know Reagans is playing a 1-year deal because of his after he went to arbitration. But yeah, it's tough to see a list like this. But again, like you said earlier, they don't have this excuse to fall back on because they were bad before any of these people got injured. So,
hey, it's okay though because the Royals made a trade, and Connor Seabold, right-handed pitcher, is going to save the day. No, so the Royals made a very small trade. So they acquired Connor Seabold from the Blue Jays for minor league pitcher Dennis Samudio and cash considerations. Shout out to cash considerations for always being on the move. But a little bit of history on Connor Seabold. Blue Jays acquired Seabold from the Tigers on May 27th, 19 days ago. The Blue Jays then traded him to the Royals on June 15th. Toronto DFA'd him on June 10th. So the Royals made that trade. A little bit of stats on Connor Seabold. He's pitched in 16 games. He has a 4.26 ERA, 19 innings pitched, given up 23 hits, 9 earned runs, 7 walks, 15 strikeouts. So he's just going to be a guy that fits in really well here. He's out of options, so he's going to be on the Major League roster. So expect to see him at some point on coming out of the bullpen.
And then kind of updating you guys on where our roster is at. There's been a handful of moves having to be made with people coming up and going down. So, like, for example, Stephen Kolek, he's in an option year, so he's probably going to be going up and down all the time based on his need for starts and stuff. So this is not recently, but Josh Rojas, infielder, savior of a couple weeks ago, he hit that 2-run single up the middle during that awesome multi-game day that he had. He was sent back down to bring up Kolek. When Kyle Isbell was put on the IL, that's when we brought up Cameron Meisner. Whenever Seth Lugo was put on the little small injured list that he's going to be on, we brought up Eli Morgan, but then we sent Eli Morgan back down to bring up Mitch Spence. And then when Vinny Pasquantino was put on the injured list, we brought up John Rave. So right now, in the stead of, if that's not the right word, without all these other players, we have Mitch Spence on the team. John Rave is up. Cameron Meisner is up. So we've been seeing a lot of each of them, unfortunately. So, and Beck Way's on the team. If you haven't heard of him, Beck Way.
Oh, we've heard of Beck Way. I do want to shift a little bit of positive news, fun news regarding the Royals. And, you know, the All-Star games in Philadelphia this year, All-Star voting is open. And I was looking at the most recent update, and Bobby Witt Jr. is absolutely killing it at shortstop.
Finally.
He's $500 million up on Andres Gimenez from the Blue Jays. Half a million. He's half a billion votes up. You heard it here first.
He has 500 million more votes.
he's half a billion. He's half a million up.
He might as well be half a billion up. He might as well be.
He's half a million votes up. He has 890,575 votes. Andres Gimenez has 354,651. That's half a billion by my math.
Let's just add a comma. So Bobby Witt Jr. has 890 million votes. That's 800 million more votes than any U.S. president has ever gotten. Yeah. I was worried because Kevin McGonigal, he's been having such a good season with the Tigers. I was totally not looking forward to seeing the same thing that happened to Bobby with, is it Holiday or Gunnar Henderson last year when he was just having a great season and he got gypped out of the starting position. So it's awesome to see this, and I'm glad to see that Bob is finally getting a little bit of national recognition. He's definitely the only Royals player that deserves it. You know, we look back at the 2015 or 2014? It was one of those teams where the All-Star game was just Royals players. It was all Royals
Omar
players.
Infante. It was like the Royals and then Jose Altuve or something.
And Mike Trout. Yeah, Jose Altuve and Mike Trout are the only people that aren't Royals players. But you kind of look back at those seasons and you're like, some of those players obviously didn't deserve it, like Alex Rios or whoever the case may be. But, you know, some of those players, it was hard to argue that there was someone more electric, you know. But now it's like the only person I want to see wearing an All-Star jersey is Bobby. Everyone else sucks. Shout out to Bob. And if you want to vote, you can vote 5 times per day per device or something. I don't know the rules. But you can vote a bunch of times per day if you want to vote for Bob. Be one of the 500 million that have voted for Bob.
Yeah, if you want to make history, make Bob the most voted for player ever.
The most voted for person ever in the history of anything.
Yeah.
So another thing I thought was interesting to look at was we've complained about prices before, and It caught my eye. The MLB has went ahead and released the 4th of July uniforms and hats and everything. Pretty sick. I will admit, they're pretty sick. Everybody's got that red nameplate. They got the Star Spangled number. And yet again, it's one of those, I'm not spending $60 on a freaking hat. If you want to wear the fitted hat that the players wear on the field, you're going to have to spend $60. You can get free shipping. Woo!
Yeah, orders over $40. You get, which is nothing's under $40.
What a freaking dumb advertisement to run. Unless you're buying a bunch of clearance t-shirts, you're going to break that with one item. The hat that I would get, which is this hat here, the New Era 970, one of the best shaped hats in the world. That one's only $44. So if I'm going to get a hat from the Royals, if I'm going to buy a City Connect hat, if I'm going to buy anything, I'm probably going to be buying this one, the 970 New Era. Those are running $44.
I just still remember a day when you could buy a fitted hat for like $32.99.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this hat right here, I'm not going to pull it down because I'm not going to be able to get it to stay, but it's the one you're wearing, the regular fitted Royals hat. I got that in 2015. I spent $32.99 at Lids in Independence for that hat, brand new. And the thing that you have to spend double the amount basically to get one nowadays is poo-poo pee-pee.
What if I want to buy a jersey?
Brandon, if you want to buy a jersey, you better have two Benjamins. You better have two Benjamins in that pocket.
Two Benjamins?
Yes. Two Bens. So give me two of those Bens. $200 for a jersey. And the only two jerseys available are the Cags jersey and the Bobby Witt Jr. jerseys. So I hope you're a fan of Bobby or Cags because that's your only option.
Oh, they're actually not selling. Okay.
Yeah, those are the only options on right now on the MLB website. I'm sure if you go to the Royal Stadium or something, you could probably find more. But yeah, on the MLB website, that's the only ones I can find. So
I don't know.
$200,
dude.
So
just go donate it to charity. If you like.
So, but this is how it is. I saw a great tweet that was saying baseball games, they used to be something that you could get in and out for under $50 for the whole family. You get let's say you had to spend $35 on the tickets and then you could go get everyone a hot dog or popcorn or peanuts or something, and it's going to not put you under that much money. In and out under $100, right? Someone from the Dodgers made an insane tweet that I'm not going to relate to. Someone did the math on each stadium, what's going to cost you at each stadium, which was a good tweet. But Dodgers game, it was something like $400 or $500. If you want to have 4 people go, you all want to get a hot dog and a soda, and you have to pay for parking and all these things. You're going to a Royals game, and your son says, "Dad, I love those red, white, and blue flag hats. I love America. I'm a little patriot. Dad, can you please buy me one of these hats and the jerseys?" Obviously, the answer is no. Can't afford it.
You're going to learn what disappointment is today, son.
Yeah. But if you want to be a super generous dad and buy your kid the hat that they wear on the field and the jersey that they're going to wear on the field, you're going to be spending $260 just on a hat and a shirt. That's where we're at in America.
We were at the Mother's Day game and we did the Sunday 4-pack, which that's a deal you should definitely do because it's great. You get for $20 a person, I think. It's a ticket, a hot dog, and a small drink. Anyway, but there was a family there. It was like mom and dad and like 4 kids. And they kept getting food. They had like chicken fingers and fries and then cotton candy and then those like fruit shish kebabs and then sodas. And I was just like, I kept watching them buy things and I was just like, money signs were like going off above my head because I'm like, dude, this family has spent like $800 today. I'm like, what is going on? Now, like maybe they are like, hey, we're going and we're gonna live it up and like more power to them. But I'm just like, that is such an expensive day.
Like, I got cotton
Now-
candy at the Mavericks game yesterday, and I spent $10, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm only getting one thing. I'm getting one thing, and that's going to be my day. And
Yeah.
that's what it was, and I'm, that's how I think of it.
Obviously, yeah, you don't have to, like, that is the thing, is like, you don't have to, you could literally just go to the game and not buy anything, which is what I do 90% of the time. But it's like, actually, what you do is you go to Highboy or you go to Dixon's Chili before or after the game and have a much better meal. You don't know what Dixon's is? I know what you're doing.
I have an idea.
Oh, you're familiar, huh?
I've never heard of Dixon's Chili ever in my life. Ever, actually. And Highboy, I mean, it's good. I'd eat it now if you gave it to me.
You're a big boy. You're a big boy guy.
I'm a big boy guy.
I'm married to a big boy gal, okay? I get it.
The big boy burger, the big boy tenderloin, and the big boy onion rings. Dude, you're not going to beat that. And an ice cream cone after? Shut up, dude.
It's good.
Shut up.
I think it's just what you were raised on, honestly.
Okay. That's how we're going to be? You only like it because that's what you were raised on. I guess that's fair. I think Mama China is like the greatest Chinese food in the history of America.
You do.
And it's funny because like it's good. Like everyone else is like, yeah, it's all right, yeah. And I'm like, no, it's the best in the world. What are you talking about?
I know. Yeah, I know. I've literally, me and Lindsay have had that conversation where we're like, yeah, it's all right. It's good.
What other Weiss things are there that are like that? Like cookie fluff? Is that one of the things?
Oh, cookie fluff is goated. Cookie fluff is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's a thing that I'm sure I had in some capacity, but that was like something that was unlocked that I was like, I need this at every family function moving forward. I love the hors d'oeuvres that your mom makes.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I requested those as a kid all the time. I need to make those. It's been all these years that I've been a free adult that I could have made them. I haven't made them yet. What am I doing? Yeah. Wasting money on other food like milk. Actually, milk's amazing. I gotta have milk.
Eggs.
Gotta have my milk.
Bread. Protein.
Just give me a big bucket of hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's turned into Hungry Daddy's Hour 3, huh? So, news around sports. Pete Crow Armstrong with the Cubbies. He hit for the cycle yesterday and then instantly got picked off at first base, which was hilarious. If you're a Cubs fan, I'm not even mad.
Yeah, 13th cycle in Cubs history, rather, not MLB history. What do you like better? A cycle or a perfect game?
Well, I've never gotten to experience one as a fan before, so I couldn't really tell you. I've had the excitement of no hitters going into the late innings. But I'll tell you what, if a player actually ever hits for a cycle, I'm going to flip out. I remember when Bobby Witt Jr. was like a single away from hitting for a cycle one game years ago against the Diamondbacks, and their relief pitcher threw and hit. I think you were at that game. Were you at that game?
Yeah, they hit him or they walked him or something.
They hit him.
Yeah.
They hit him. Yeah, and it seemed like it was on purpose. The whole stadium erupted in boos, rightfully so, as they should. But yeah, I'm not surprised to see a player like Pete Crow Armstrong hit for the cycle. It seems like something that might be a little less. What am I trying to say here? A perfect game.
Perfect game / no hitter.
I would rank it perfect game cycle no hitter. I think that's what I would do, just because I mean. 2 of them are for pitchers, and it's like obviously the perfect game is like insane. Like I think I would rather see Michael Wacha throw a perfect game than I would see Bobby Witt Jr. hit for the cycle. But dude, there's a part of me that thinks Bobby Witt Jr. will hit for the cycle, and I think he could do it multiple times. But I mean, he hasn't yet. But at the same time, it's like
I think there was a stretch in 2024 where it was like every third day, Bobby Witt Jr. is a single away from hitting for the cycle or something like that. But my answer, so I'm such a, I told you I'm a sick individual, and there is really not a lot better for me in sports than watching a pitcher absolutely deal. So I will take a perfect game no hitter. Like I'm a weirdo, and I'm like, this 1-0 baseball game was the best part of my week. Like that's that's where I'm at.
It's a no-hitter,
sometimes.
have you ever experienced a no-hit or a no-hitter or a Cardinals guy somewhere back in the day? Did someone throw a no-hitter or a perfect game that you were a fan of and it made you happy? Like, did Adam Wainwright ever do that? I mean, I don't even know what position he is. I don't even know if he's a closer or what.
Adam Wainwright, no, he started as a closer, but he was a starter mode. No, he didn't. But no, anybody, anytime it's like Dustin May is throwing 6 perfect innings, I'm like, oh, I'm in. Or
He just
whenever
had his
was
first
it
career complete game. Shout out Dustin May.
Yeah. Jorge Lopez with the Royals, and was that 2021? Took a no-hitter into the 9th. 8 2/3 no-hit, I believe. Like,
that would have made me grossed out. That guy would have gotten paid by some random team and flopped. It'd have been hilarious.
It's always obviously there's been great pitchers that have done it, but it's like always like the most random player ever. That's like, yeah.
Jorge
Like I remember
Lopez, Glenn Sparkman.
back when Luke Hochevar was a starter for the Royals. This probably would have been 2011, 2012. It was against the Indians, I believe. He took a no-hitter into, I believe it was the 7th inning. He had 6 perfect innings, but then he just crapped the bed in the 7th. But it was still like, dude.
Well, 3rd time through the order. I mean, they've seen you. All right, Brandon. The only other sports news thing that I cared to talk about, specifically in the world of sports, there's one big thing that happened. What happened, Brandon?
The Knicks, for the first time in 53 years, won the NBA championship. Listen, I am so happy for the Knicks. I'm happy for Jalen Brunson. Moses roasted me last week. It can't be for Jalen Brunson. But I think, obviously, it's over. But if you were like a lukewarm basketball fan, the run that the Knicks went on in this NBA playoffs, such an easy team to root for. Between Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Kat, Mikal Bridges, everybody.
I love Karl Anthony Towns.
Landry Shamet, local kid. So many awesome stories. Mike Brown, if you don't know Mike Brown, spent years as an assistant with the Golden State Warriors, was great with them. Went to Sacramento, brought the Kings to the postseason, got fired by Sacramento, comes to New York, wins a championship in his first season.
If I'm a basketball fan, am I saying that the Knicks just ran away with this series, or am I saying that the Spurs just totally choked?
Dude.
And don't say both.
The Knicks won the series. Listen, they did the things that they were supposed to do. Like, you can, like, and you tell me not to say both, but it almost can't not be both. Because you can't, how do you blow a 29-point lead? How do you blow multiple double-digit leads? They were up double digits in every game. And
I wasn't rooting for the Spurs. I am a big Victor Wembanyama fan just because I'm a very surface level, not actually a big fan of basketball. I like basketball, but how can you not be a fan of Slender Man? Like, he's insane. He's not just a big guy. He's not just a tall guy. He also can shoot threes. He's
an all-around player.
Yeah. He needs to gain 50 pounds.
He had a lot of blunders himself. He played, like, statistically overall, he was great, but he had a lot of, like, dude, what are you doing? De'Aaron Fox had a big blunder in game 4. But like the OG Anunoby winning game 4, dude, what a great moment. Because you go up 3-1. Like, the difference between 2-2 and 3-1 is insane. And you go back to San Antonio, and then you're down big again, and then Jalen Brunson's like, hold my beer, I'm going to score 45 points. Finals MVP.
Freaking awesome. I'm glad to see him get his flowers.
I was reminded today, so I think well documented. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. I was reminded today that Luka Doncic, who is now with the Lakers, Jalen Brunson, who's obviously with the Knicks, both of them were drafted in the same draft by the Dallas Mavericks.
What was it, like 7 years ago today or something? 6 years ago today?
It was in 2018.
Oh, 8 years ago. That's so disgusting.
It is.
I told you off air
disgusting.
a minute ago, I was like, when are we going to get the documentary on the Mavericks? And, you know, it was all an inside job. And
I'm waiting.
Nico Harrison is actually... I'm not going to go there, but Nico Harrison's
Pablo.
an idiot.
I'm waiting on Pablo Torre to find out. That's what I'm waiting on.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, can you imagine we get that breaking news tweet? Oh, that would just be so delicious. Oh, my gosh. Well, speaking of crazy fans, today, as time of recording, the 16th on Tuesday, today is the first World Cup game in Kansas City. We got Argentina versus Algeria. I've been interacting with a lot of Argentina fans and Algeria fans last couple days with Sporting KC activations. Dude, yesterday was crazy. They had a meet and greet up at No Other Pub downtown. Argentina showed out. There were so many fans. Great. And what I love to see about these fans is, you know, they show up and they're wearing the Messi jersey, but they're also like wearing like the homemade hat. Like they're wearing the homemade scarf that they made that you can tell that old granny knitted or something. And really cool. In Algeria, I saw that there was a pretty cool scene. I don't know if it was last night or this morning or something, but a bunch of Algeria fans went and were shooting off fireworks at the Washington Square Park. And I was
cool.
like, that might be the most love that Washington Square Park's ever gotten. That might be the most interesting thing that's ever happened at Washington Square Park.
I've loved seeing people coming in from other countries and they're like experiencing free chips and salsa and free refills and Waffle House.
Free chips and salsa. That's insane. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
Well, we've been following we got to have our Chiefs minute on this show. Everybody loves Chiefs. We got to have our Chiefs minute. Rashid Rice, he's out of the clink.
Let's go.
And the worst thing about Prison Mike was the Dementors, but he's out of the clink after his 30 days. Xavier Sneed, who's that? L'Jarius Sneed, back. OTAs in full swing. It is a month from now, a little over a month from now, training camp. It's quick.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love to see it. I love to see Eric Bieniemy back in house, yelling at people, chopping it up with the players. I'm happy to see that Patrick's knee is doing better. Everybody loves Patrick. Everybody loves healthy knees. One other thing I wanted to mention was the fact that I saw that they had released the new Shrek 5 trailer. And dude, I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it is about the animation. It just looked too like Disney, and I'm accepting the fact that they're about to ruin Shrek. Shrek is held near and dear to a lot of millennial Gen Z hearts. And, you know, not even, I don't even, it is justified because they're amazing movies, but at the same time, we have an unhealthy love for Shrek. And if they ruin it, if they ruin it with some empowering story about, I don't know, it could be, I don't know what it's going to be about, but dude, give me some Eddie Murphy talking about waffles.
Yeah. I'll say this. I'm a Shrek connoisseur. The first and second movies are incredible. Shrek 2 might be better than the first Shrek. Then Shrek the third is fine. Has its moments. Shrek Forever After kind of not great. So what has it been? 15 years? They got to hit like a classic Shrek 2 vibe with this movie.
Yeah, I'm with that. I like all of them. I'm not gonna say I like all of them equally. Probably the first one is just so iconic. It lives in everyone's hearts similarly. So I'll say I think that one is elite. But yeah, dude, I'm just praying to the Lord Almighty that they do not ruin Shrek. We've had so many things get ruined over the last few years, and I just do not need to see Shrek become another victim to the 2026 common era animation, horrible scripts. Like, please. Royals, guys. Royals are good. No, they're not. They're terrible. Royals are not good at baseball. It's funny. Before we started this, I was like, we need to. I literally warned. Looking at our notes, I was like, we need to make sure we talk about the Royals enough, because like, it's just not been good. Like, looking at the last. I'll say this one more time, and then we'll be done. But looking at their last like week since we talked last. So today is the 16th. They have won 2 games. They won Dollar Dog Night on the 9th, and they won on Sunday, 4-0. Thanks to that Stephen Kolek. Was that what that was? That Sunday. So we've won 2 games in a week, and it's like we're gonna be. Unfortunately, it feels like we're gonna be talking like this for the rest of the season. It's just scraping along, hoping we can get something going. You mentioned it in a text message to me, like we have great stretches, and then we only have horrible stretches. We haven't had any average stretches. We only have, win 10 out of 15 and then lose 16 out of 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Between that, mentioning all the injuries, who's even on the roster at this point? Should we go through that?
Yeah, let's go through let's look at the roster.
We don't have to go through all of them, but let's just look at some of the names on here.
Yeah, we got Bobby Witt Jr.
Penny Vasquentino isn't even there. We can't even do that. Weck Bay.
We got Lick Nofton. You like Lick Nofton?
Yeah. Palvador Cerez. Cac Jaglione. Look at this team. Marling Starte.
We got Mamrin Keisner and Ron Jave. Michael Massey and Tyler Tolbert.
Laniel Dinch.
Laniel Dinch.
Oh. And you have and who's the GM of this team? Like, who led this team? PP Giacolo.
Quat Matrero.
PP Giacolo and Quat Motrero. So that's your Kansas City Royals right there. All those guys.
I would rather have that be our team. Can I just sign up for that? Give me Bobby Witt and PP Giacolo.
PP Giacolo is wild. That's what they should do for Players Weekend. Is instead of them being able to have their own nicknames, they're just flip-flopping the first letters of Cac. Now batting, the right fielder, number 14, Cac Jaglione. Like, how iconic would that be for Mike McCartney to announce that over the PA system?
Second baseman, number 12, Lick Nofton. Lickin' often.
Here come your Ranzakitty Soils.
You got through that one. I couldn't. There's no way I could have said that one. Oh my gosh. The Ranzis Kitty Soils. Oh my gosh. We need to apply for a media press access so that you can go get an interview with the general manager and say,
Mr. PP Giacolo.
Yeah, Mr. PP Giacolo. We had a big question. I'll give it over to my co-host Moses. Yeah, hey PP, how you doing? I have a question for Quat. Mr. Machuero.
What is Mr. Witt Jr.'s media availability? I'd like to have a conversation with him.
Mr. Quatt, I think you are the greatest manager in Ranzis Kitty Soils history.
You got Lion Rafever and Hex Rudler on the call. What's your honorable mention?
So I was trying to choose between two. So I'm gonna say both of them. So one of them is SpaceX and Elon Musk making more money in one trade than Warren Buffett ever did in his entire career. That's absolutely hilarious. They had like a big stock bump, and yeah, Elon Musk is very rich. So I'm not going to just talk about rich people being rich being my honorable mention. My honorable mention, it's stupid. AI videos. I love AI videos. And what's so funny is we're in such a content drought. I follow and I'm subscribed to so many YouTubers, and people just aren't making as much original content as they used to. There's interesting people doing interesting things that deserve subscriptions and deserve views. Like, I follow a guy named Nile Red or Nile Blue. He has two accounts. He's this chemist. I think that's what it's called. And he does all sorts of awesome experiments. He has all sorts of cool equipment, does cool stuff. Like, he recently bought a freaking like laser gun off of Temu or something for like 10 grand. And he's like cutting through stuff with lasers. But the AI stuff, the reason I say this is like, we're in such a content drought. I need something like interesting things. And it's so awesome. Like, sitting here watching a video, I was watching one yesterday. It was fake. I didn't know it was fake, but it was like this guy that was like hiking through the woods, and he like encounters a bear, and the bear just like stands up and starts doing like a Fortnite dance. and I was like, dude, that's so much better than whatever the video could have been. If it was just a regular bear in the woods and it's just like a guy being scared and running away, like what's that gonna do for me? But seeing that bear stand up and hit a Fortnite dance, you know, hit a little bit of the like whatever the emote is, like that was good. And I need stuff like that to just lift me up whenever the Royals are having me down. So that's my honorable mention. What do you got? What's your honorable mention of the week?
My honorable mention is kayaking. So, yeah, this weekend, my wife, son, and I went out to Shawnee Mission Lake. That's where we typically like to go to kayak, and went out there, spent a beautiful day on the lake, and just had a good time. Kayaking is so fun, so tiring.
What does it cost?
I think it costs us $50. It's $25 a boat, and it's for an hour. So, but I think you could technically rent it as long as you want.
Maybe we need to get us some kayaks and just split the cost and give them to
We've
Levi
looked into it.
and just invite ourselves over to Raintree all the time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to these fine people on the internet today?
Sure. I do have something to say to you. Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason ever, no matter what, no matter where, or who you were with, or where you were going, or where you've been ever, for any reason whatsoever. That is a quote from the great Michael Scott.
I forgot about that. I thought you were going to... Okay. Did you have that memorized? Oh my gosh. That's impressive. That's impressive. All right, people. We're done. We're out of here. Thank you for tuning in to ELR 33. 33. We love you. Smash the like button. Leave a comment down below. Send this to someone you know. That rhymed. No big deal. I'm not wearing headphones. That's gonna mess up our audio, so that's good.
Well,
I'm
this'll
glad
be
you get to deal with that. All right, bro. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.